All right, so the next thing we're going to do is a sight reading activity. When I was teaching, sight reading was the very, very last thing I would do, and it was because it was a pain. I'd have to go over to my music library, pull out a chart that the kids had never seen, hand out the parts, and it was about 10 minutes before we actually sight read. There are books out there that are little sight reading books, but the kids already know all the examples. Once they've gone through the book once, they know it all, so it's not really sight reading. Wow, that's zoomed in. We're going to do this right now. You're all going to sing. This is going to be pretty solid. I'm glad this is on video because now. So I'm doing a choir. So imagine you're teaching choir and you want the kids at the beginning of every choir rehearsal to sight read, right? Cool idea. In reality, it would be insane to do that. Pull out a new octava every single time. So we're going to do level 3 because you look like smarty arts. We're going to do an SATB, tenors, reading, treble clef if that's okay, bass, and next. So far so good? You can do an SSA if you wanted to, SA, however, whatever your voicing is. 4/4 C major, and we're going to do this in movable do with a La bass minor, so we have something to sing. And we're going to click start. So what this software does is compose on the fly right now a brand new choral. You can do it. Good. That is the one and only time this piece will ever appear. It is not pulling from a library. It creates a brand new composition every time. I'm going to play the opening pitches. Do, mi, sol. See if I'm right. Come on. Do, mi, sol. Ready? Pick a part. Here we go. I'll stand out of the way. I'm singing bass just in case you're keeping track. 1, 2, ready, and do, mi, re, mi, sol, mi, do, re, mi, fa, mi, sol, la, si, do, re, do, ti, la, la, sol, sol, do, ti, la, la, sol, sol, do. You guys are awesome. That's pretty cool, right? Now, we had fun as kind of teachers who've been doing this a long time. I think this is a very, very cool example of how technology can make a performance thing. That's pretty cool in my opinion. And you could do that with band, with orchestra, with whatever ensemble you want. It'll make, by the way, if you go, well, I didn't really like that piece, click another one, and it composes a brand new, different piece, and it does it every single time. So wouldn't it be really cool to say to your kids on a weekly basis, I would like you to record yourself sight singing every single week. You know, that's it. In the past, you'd be like, okay, after the second week, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. That's way too much work. So I'm going to show you how it works on our platform. I'm going to create a task. And this time, instead of a weekly recording assignment, it's going to be a weekly sight reading assignment. Come on, Wi-Fi, don't fail me. Here we go. Weekly sight reading. Okay. What task type is this? This one's going to be a MusicFirst software task. I'm going to choose Sight Reading Factory. And I'm going to give them very, very, very clear instructions. Do this. No, it would be check the board for this week's assignment. And all you would have to remember is what level, what key signature, what time signature. That's all you have to write on a weekly basis. Right? I'm not assigning it because I don't feel like doing that. It's too much work. I'm adding it to the gradebook, yes indeed, and I'm clicking Create Task. Anytime you use a software task, you actually have to create a tie between our platform and the software you're using. Okay? It's an API, which is nerd speak for a rope between the two things. So I have to open it in Sight Reading Factory. I have to remember to do that. Open it in Sight Reading Factory. And I have to tell Sight Reading Factory, okay, choose your instrument, then follow the parameters written on the board. Good? And bad spelling, but you get the idea. Configuration. Well, we're going to, let's make this hard. This is going to be fun, and I'm going to be doing it, so you can laugh at me. You as a teacher have like how you're feeling, how much of a pain you want to be to the kids. I'm going to say, 8 measures sounds fine. Tempo 100, that's good. How many seconds do they get before they have to start recording it? Right? Well, let's give them 5. right, Dr. Evil? Do I want the metronome to click during? No, don't give him any help. Do I want the measures to disappear? Now this is a good one. Do you want the measures to disappear before, as soon as the metronome hits that measure, make the whole measure disappear? Or do you want it to be when it's after, when they're done? If you want to be a good, make it before. So they have to memorize it in their head. Right? So before. I'm the one who's going to have to do this, so wish me luck. Do you want the cursor? No. And the note annotations, what would you like? Scale degrees? Or I'm going to do the movable do again. And attach assignment. So you can do all that stuff because it's kind of fun. It depends on the group. If you love them, don't give them any restrictions. If they're turning you gray quickly, give them lots. So now that I've done that, just like I did with the weekly recording, I make it a favorite. It's like bookmarking a website. And then I go to the class calendar, and I do the exact same thing I did with the weekly recording. Go to my favorites folder. And every single Wednesday, they're going to have to do a sight reading. They're going to love me. Warwick, I apologize in advance for all the work I'm making you do. Right? Really, really simple. And all I have to remember on a weekly basis is just to write the new parameters up on the board. So let's go here. Let's make this one visible. And while I'm at it, I want my kids to do a weekly performance assessment as well. Every single week, I want them to sing or play. I want them to play their violin every week and turn that in. Because, I bought this thing, I want to use it. And I don't want to take a lot of time. By the way, we have a lot of teachers who do all this in September and never make any other assignments. They just do that all year. And the kids are having a constant portfolio filled with their recordings so that they can show their administrators or the parents. So this is my weekly performance assessment. I'm going to use PracticeFirst, which I showed you a little earlier. Check the board, yada, yada, yada. Not assigning it, not tagging it to any standards, adding it to my gradebook, clicking Create. And if you remember what I said the last time, in order to make our platform talk with PracticeFirst, you need to open it in PracticeFirst. This is very unique to our platform. We don't want to make this hard for you, so we made this awesome button because we had an angry teacher. Because it used to be, well, if you want your flutes to play a specific piece, you have to make a task just for the flutes. Then go make a task, and then go make a task for the sax. And that's crazy town. So we just click Create Generic Assignment. Done. The assignment's done. And now I can go to my class calendar, go to my favorites folder, and every single Thursday for the rest of the school year, the kids are going to have to do that. They're really going to love me. This is just great. You get the idea, correct? Questions so far? I know I'm kind of zipping through, but any questions? Yes?
Do you have to make the next ones visible each week, or does it automatically?
That's the best, what I would call the best use of it, or I forget what, the name's escaping me. The best practice is to do it on a weekly basis. On a Monday morning, just make the 3 new assignments visible. Or else the kids will make a mistake and click on the wrong one. I know that you, in terms of, we had a teacher in Illinois who had 234 kids in his band, which is way too many. Yeah. And they all recorded at the same time. Okay. And I was like, dude, and it worked. Now I know here in Australia that the Wi-Fi is not as ubiquitous or that the bandwidth is not as strong. Because the software actually caches locally, when you open the software, it was doing this. This question came up earlier. It's actually loading the software into your local computer so that the recording, it's only the uploading of that recording back that would take time. So the actual, now I would have to sit here in different schools to see how it works. We can only see it virtually, right? Right, so now what I'm going to do is show you what it looks like from a student's perspective. Oh, I have a weekly sight reading. I have a weekly performance assessment. This is going to be great. So let me go to the weekly sight reading. Open in sight reading. And now I have to do this for you, and I thought I was nervous this morning. Here we go. Sight reading in front of a lot of music teachers. Okay, choose your instrument, then follow the parameters written on the board. Yes, allow. Now this is the first time I'm ever using it as a brand new student, so you have to test the microphone. because you don't want the kid to do all that and have the microphone not work. Hey, everyone. That sounds great. I know it works. So I'm going to do for voice, and I'm going to do bass. And I'm doing level 1 because I'm sight reading in front of you. And I'm doing 4/4 C major. Does that sound fair? Because I'm already nervous. And now for the kids, you can press play so that they can see what's going to happen. But I know I have 5 seconds, so you'll just have to bear with me a second because I'm putting on my best sight reading hat. So, oh God. Okay. Whew. Do, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, do. I'm very pleased with that. If I wanted to, I could make you all listen to it, but I don't think you want to hear Kermit the Frog singing again. So we'll not, but I can do that. Instead, I'm going to click Submit. Because kids will say, well, I don't know if that was good. They're all going to click Try Again to have a second go at it. What I love about this software, it puts a brand new example up. Right? So the kids are like, what the heck, Frankel, this isn't fair. Well, it's not sight reading if you sing it a second time. Sight reading means you've never seen it before. Oh, it's not fair. Love it. So I'm clicking Submit because I know this, and I think I rocked it. Are you sure? Yes, I am definitely sure. So it submits the assignment. It uploads the recording. So I'm on the same Wi-Fi that you guys are on. That's pretty good in terms of the speed of upload. Let's go back here and do this weekly performance assessment. All right, look at the board for this week's assignment. Okay, Frere Jacques it is. This is gonna be good. Choose the piece you want to play. I think that's something I can do. So I'm going to go to Voice. I'm going to select Frere Jacques. By the way, the ability for kids to self-select their music saves you massive amounts of time rather than you picking it for them. You can also upload a score of like a band score that you've worked on or a choir score and let the kids choose the part from the score. That's also, if you don't want to give them the liberty to do whatever they want. So I'm going to choose low voice. All right, here we go. Oh boy, turn the tutorials off. I know how to use it. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. All right, 86%. Now, you might be going, what? That was awesome, but my tempo was absolutely not awesome. I was dragging. I don't really think I was, but I know that in actuality I was. So am I happy with that? I got a 95% on pitch score. That's pretty darn good. But my rhythm score is a 70%. And I can see that I was all over the place. I'm happy with that. Submit. Because I'm not doing better. That was probably, I thought I'd be fancy at the end. All right, so let me go back here for a second to show you if I want, so I have a whole bunch of other assignments in here in the class overview. I'm pretty excited. By the way, when I go into my main dashboard, you'll only see that I have a sight reading example to grade. The weekly performance assessment I don't have to grade because that 83 or whatever, 86% was automatically populated in Markbook. I don't have to do that. If I wanted to go in and see what this student did, Warwick, I can go in, and when you click on this, which I think is pretty cool, it takes you directly to the piece of music that they sang and the recording of it, which is neat. So you see, because every kid's going to be singing something different, that's the way we have to do it. So that's the way it works.